under the spotlight. Facilitators meet, sharing insights. They come from far and wide with a goal tight to learn and grow, making groups whole. Fit for facilitation, a summit they gather, improving skills, making them better. Together they share knowledge and care, building bonds, leading with flair. Fit for facilitation, a journey they start, guiding teams with a warm heart. Strategies and tools in the daylight, transforming lives, one talk at a time.
Oh, I know, Mehdi, you're looking at me. I know I need to practice a bit more, right, Mehdi?
Yeah, we've been practicing this for a week. I think even
Uh,
more than your presentation.
yeah. Well, yeah, the presentation is going to be totally improvised because we spend all the time doing that, right? So,
Definitely.
hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fit for Facilitation. That's the last session of the week. Come on, guys.
Oh,
Said and Mehdi, that's the last one.
For this week,
finally.
yeah.
And for this
No,
week,
not for. Unfortunately, not finally. Unfortunately, we could do something on Sunday.
okay, so
That
we
would be a
won't do
joke.
anything on Sunday. I'm going to eat my croissant with my wife. And well, let's speak about tonight. I'm super happy to be with all of you today, along with my super buddies, Mehdi, Said. But we just missed Nathy. She has a family birthday. But of course, don't worry, she will be back next week.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second.
Ah,
Because Nathy wouldn't be Nathy if she wouldn't be kind of with us. So
Hi everyone, I wish you a beautiful session with Alex. I'm so frustrated not to be able to be here, but I have a good reason. My daughter has birthday today and I'm in Europe, so I don't want to miss her day. Alex, you know I love your work. I'm working with you together with corporate clients. We are doing great things, so I wish you a beautiful session, and guys, I see you next week.
yeah, she
okay,
was.
thank you so much. Oh, yes. Happy
So
birthday
basically,
to your
Alex,
daughter.
There is
Yeah,
there is a
basically,
birthday
Alex
cake feature
asked
in
us.
Zoom.
Go ahead.
sorry, guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said,
Yeah, okay. Okay, so thank you, Nathy, for this nice message. So what are we going to do today? Well, we are going to see if AI can be used in real life to help us with our job, which is facilitating workshops. So there is a promise, and we're going to see really if it works. Can GenAI help us every step of the way? Okay, setting, preparing, facilitating, documenting workshop. And maybe it can, maybe it cannot, but the hard part, really the hard part, is knowing what it can really do well and how to use it in the right way. And I'm sorry, guys, this webinar won't give you all the answers, but instead, I will be very happy if I can just inspire you, give you a few guidelines, and help you start your journey. But you know what? I don't want to start with slides. So this is the slide, but let's start with a first experience. And just remove your facilitator hat right now. You're going to log into Storms with your mobile phone. Okay, and I'll give you a QR code in a minute. And let me show you what's going to happen. So this, I don't need anymore. All right, so you're going to log on to Storms. I'm going to explain you how to do that very soon. And some of you, I know you already have done it. I've seen you, Jeannie, by the way. So once you're logged in, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to imagine if you were an animal. So first of all, what animal are you going to be? And let's be a little bit crazy. What outfit will you be wearing? What will you be doing? And where are you located? Once you know that, you're going to click on the plus button. And here is an example. If I was an animal, me personally, I will be an elephant wearing a yellow hoodie, flying off the moon on my skateboard. So you write down your sentence and don't forget to click on save. All right, that's the only thing you have to do. So don't overthink it, just write your sentence and you will have 60 seconds to do that. So how it works? There is a QR code. So I would like you to use your phone. It's going to be a much better experience with you. You're going to have Zoom on your laptop and you can use Storms on your smartphone for the interactive experience. And you're going to log as a guest, just input your name. And then you're going to see normally this first activity that we're going to do together, that is called If I Was an Animal. So the only thing you have to do is to click on this little tile, and then you're going to be onto the workspace. All right. So don't overthink it. Write down your animal, and we're going to see. Let me see if people are coming in. So don't write your name on, write really your animal and your description of the animal. I see that I have already 83%, 85% in the storms, 89.
Just because there was a question in the chat. If it doesn't work on your phone for some reason, I also shared the link. You can open it in the browser if it's more convenient.
Of course. We have 95 participants in the storms right now. I'm going to do something fun.
Could you show us again how to input our animal? Thanks a lot.
Look at that. Seems that we have a lot of pink.
Alex, we don't see the anymore. Okay, great.
I'm waiting for.
So guys, for those who don't know, Storms, it's like a brainstorming tool that can be used like remotely, in person. It works particularly well if you facilitate like a workshop with a lot of people. Alex have done like crazy setup. I don't know. It's not the place where we're gonna show you this, but it's quite impressive. So enjoy the tool because it's crazy and it's been there for like almost a decade. More than a decade actually.
12 years. I found it Storms in 2012. All right, so I just want you to feel a little bit of the experience, and I'm going to show you something now. If I change from the world cloud to board view, we are starting to see the first animals.
I didn't see this one coming. That's really cool.
Where's mine?
The cute bunny. Such a funny one.
Where's my alpaca?
So just to let you know, I didn't, it's on purpose. Right now, we're gonna do something that maybe is gonna frustrate you a little. So just want to see, for example, if you click on a word, right now we see the words. The image have not been yet generated. Some of them have been, you see. Okay. So what I would like you is that right now it's just the beginning, okay? And it's the first experience. And I would like you not to react on the chat. I don't know if some of you are reacting on the chat. I'm not monitoring it right now. Just, and it's going to be a little bit counterintuitive, don't share with the others. Take a quiet moment to reflect all by yourself and write down on a piece of paper, what do you think cool or surprising about this activity? Right now, I've just shown you the technical part. Huh? So what's cool or surprising? But also, think if you want to use this AI-powered feature in a real setting, what might go wrong? Okay. And maybe once you've done that, how you could turn that into something useful. Okay. And what could you achieve with that? So it's on purpose that I don't debrief this activity. Take a moment. I'm going to give you 60 seconds and write down that just for you for the moment. And we'll come back to this only at the end of this webinar. And I'll tell you how I use that.
Quick question, Alex, because there was a question in the chat. Any way to see your own image on your phone, or is this on purpose, or will you come back later to this because we?
Yeah, right now, not all the images have been generated. And when all of them will have been generated, they will appear on the phone.
Thanks.
Especially that we have, do you know how many cards we have? We have more than 100 cards right now. This is crazy. All right. So can I see thumbs up if you're good? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come back to this activity. Keep this activity in mind, and we're going to explore a few more things now. So before we dive into the next experience, I would like to give you a quick sense of what's ahead of you so that you don't get lost, okay? First of all, this webinar is a bit experimental, so it's okay. Something might break, okay? I'm happy that the first experience with storms didn't break. And if it breaks, we're going to learn something. So we're going to explore 4 different experiences. Let me show you that. The first one, we already done it. Well, not finished, but we have done the first part. Then we're going to do the first chapter, which is going to be a few short, playful demos. Then second chapter, micro-learning. It's going to be my take on how to use AI for ideation. And it's adapted from a 3-hour masterclass, and we're going to do that in 10 minutes, easy. And the third experience is going to be a mini brainstorm. We're going to work on a very specific use case of AI, is AI for live debrief. And we're going to do a reverse brainstorming on how to use AI the right way. And if we don't get lost on the way, we'll close with a surprise or 2. Okay? And maybe you don't know me, by the way, so maybe you're wondering who is this guy in the yellow hoodie who's talking. So I'm Alex. Since 2012, I've been exploring how tech can support collective intelligence. I created Storms, you've just used it. I'm specialized in large group workshop. Mehdi was saying more than 1,000 people in the same room. I also built the AI features in Storms, started the AI Thinkers Club, where we all learn by tinkering Tinkering is just a fancy word for experimenting, testing, breaking things, and sharing all that together. I've also created the AI Tinkers cards. It's a low-tech tool to help people to teach GenAI to my clients. And by the way, my next session next Monday, if you want to subscribe, it's going to be about how I created this new training offering. And if you're curious, I'm always around on the AI Tinkers Club platform. It is totally free, so I'm not selling anything here. And you can also check out my website. All right, it's enough about me. We're going to start the first chapter of our journey. Welcome to chapter 1, the flash demos. So I've got a set of quick examples, okay, showing how AI can support the different part of our job: design, selling, documenting, facilitating, etc. But we have only the time for 2. So I'm going to choose the first one that I really like, and you're going to vote for the second. So let's go for the first, my own choice. So mind mapping. So sometimes I get a long document and really, I don't read it. And instead, I'm asking the AI to help me turn it into a mind map. And this is how I do it with AI. And it's a use case that works very well. So this is the final results. And the mind map, I have a mind mapping tool that is called Simple Mind. That's my preferred one. It's not very expensive, not a subscription. So I advise to use that if you don't have a software yet. So the way I'm going to do is that I'm going to upload the document in ChatGPT, a PDF. So here it's a fake example with a chapter of a book about clusterization. Then I ask it to extract key insights, but a comprehensive list in bulk. And once I have this list, I ask the AI to organize them in 3 layers: the main insight, the sub-insight, and a detailed insight. Okay. Finally, I convert the output into OPML. That's this weird code that you see here. It's called an OPML format. It's not code, it's more a markup. And this is really cool because this is the language that most mind mapping tools understand. So I can use it as an import to import it into Simple Mind. All right, so now I have that. And I would like to show you the prompts. And you're going to see that it's like a conversation. I don't make one big ask. I don't make it create the mind map directly from me feeding the chapter and then getting the mind map. No, I break it down into several small steps. And it looks like it is nothing, but asking the AI to work step by step is going to make a huge difference. So instead of a basic mind map, that's going to give me something much more useful with real insight. So as you can see, the first step, I just extract the insight and I want the most comprehensive list possible from the document. So the AI has a small step of processing to do that. And then another small step, now I ask it to structure, and I also define what is an insight. No, I defined it before, by the way. So it's also important to guide the AI. Maybe it hasn't got the same definition of insight that I have, so I give it the definition. Then I give some specification on how to structure the insights. For example, I say there is no obligation to have 3 levels. Maybe, if it makes sense, 1 level only or 2 levels only. And the final step is the easiest. When it has done the structuring, it can translate it into a PML. You see? So that's the way you ask the AI that's going to make a big difference. A good prompt is going to give you much better content. And that's really what's going to set you apart from the same person trying to convert the same document as a mind map. Well, by the way, two things going to set you apart. First, the fact that you can think of the use case. Oh, yes, I can turn that into a mind map. That's the first step. Lots of people won't even think about it. And the second step is being able to implement it in a meaningful way. So this prompt and the full use case are available on our AI Thinkers Club platform. And by the way, hello to all the members that I've seen in the chat. Again, it's totally free, so I'm not selling anything. It's really a space to explore, to test, and learn together. So here, for example, on the platform, we have this use case library. You see that we have a lot of different use cases. And for example, the one that we just see is this one that I updated just for you guys. So that's why it was updated 2 days ago, which means that I prepare my presentation at least 2 days before. Not bad. And you see that everything is here. All right, so the platform full of use case. And right now, today, I cannot go through everything, right? So I have pre-selected. So we have the time for one more, okay? Because instead of having a succession of demo for 60 minutes, I change everything in this webinar to try to give you and craft you different kinds of experiences. So for the next one, so you're going to pick one of these 7 demos. Okay, you're going to vote. I'm going to tell you later. First, I'm going to present you the different use cases. And also, just by presenting you, it gives you ideas of things you can do. One of the things is that when you're a facilitator working with corporate client, confidentiality can be important. So there is a use case about that. One of my favorite use case was invented by one of the members of the club. It's the blind spot detector, how to clean up voice notes and identify blind spots in reasoning. I love it. It's a way to see missing ideas, angles, or risk. The third one is a session lab flow. I start with a simple whiteboard sketch when I design my workshops. And then I take a screenshot and the AI helps me turn that into a real session lab flow. Then I have card generator. It's quite an advanced and complex automation that I built to generate custom inspiration cards for some of my workshops. It's quite a complex use case. A very fun use case is I've built a custom GPT that creates check-in questions that are customized to your workshop content. And you're going to get the prompt, not only the custom GPT, but the prompt. Miro to Excel. Miro is very bad at exporting detailed content for Excel. So let's see if the AI can do a better job from a screenshot of a Miro board to create an Excel file. And finally, probably the most complex use case, but also one of the most valuable. It's a very complex automation with AI in it to analyze workshop output. So you cannot do that live, it's too long, but to do post-workshop and to do a deep clusterization of ideas. What I mean by deep is meaningful. So we're going to use, again, Storms for that. Let me show you. All right. So you're probably into the describe your animal, and on top of the screen, there is the little house. So you click on it and you're going to get back. And I'm going to activate the new little activity. This one, pick the next demo. And for those who did not, maybe you need the slide again. Okay. So, so again, you can scan the QR code if you haven't done it before. You can join the activity. You click on pick the next demo. And then once you have done that, I don't know if you have activated it. I'm going to have a look. Yeah, you should be able to vote. So let me show you again. So I made it so that you can select up to 3 use cases. I'm going to present only one, but you can select 1, 2, or 3 of your preferred ones. And maybe after the session, I can do a little video for the one that we didn't have time to present. Don't forget to save your answer. There is a button that maybe you need to scroll down to see your button. What if we want all of them? Well, you'll have to go to the AI Thinkers Club. What can I say?
Alex, I think I'm reading through the chat. I think people stopped listening and already signing up for the AI Tinkerers Club. So,
So
I stop.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop thinking about it.
Yeah, please focus on Alex first.
Yeah.
30.
Okay, so let's have a look at the results. And by the way, I'm gonna go into this. It's gonna be better. Up. All right. So you are super geeky because you have selected the most complex use cases. All right. So 50% the workshop cards, 38% the meaningful clustering. So what time is it? It's 29. Let's see if how late I am. Said and Mehdi, I am 4 minutes in advance.
Oh my God.
How is that even possible?
Don't jinx it.
I thought this was a real question for us. I was like, I know your presentation, but not that good.
Okay. So let me get back here and do that. I have to juggle with my Stream Deck. Thank you, Said. Okay, so workshop cards. And I need to remove that. Okay, so yes, you can see my little slides. So the idea is that it was more a tinkering. I wanted to see if it was possible to do that. As you can see from the previous Storms activity, the AI is really good at generating images, but I wanted to do something where I give a theme to the AI, and automatically it's going to create a deck of cards based on that theme. So this is an example of the final result. Is I gave it a theme of famous men and women. It would automatically create different categories: famous artists, famous inventors, famous activists. Find the name of these famous people, find the description, and based on a visual style that I give, it would create images that are consistent with each other. These images have been done with DALL-E 3, which now we have an even better version of AI. So how do you do that? Yes, she's looking, she has some colors. I don't know why. Okay, let's go. So I told you it's a bit complicated. What I did is I'm using Airtable. So Airtable is a new tool. It's a kind of database. It's like an Excel, but on steroids, okay? So I'm using Airtable, and each line on this table is a deck. And the only thing that I have to say is I want a deck about famous person. And now we're gonna learn about one of the drawbacks of AI, biases. I did a first test, and it was only doing cards with men. So I had to add a new field with more description about famous persons being both men and women. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. And some of the things that you really have to take care of when you deal with AI, hallucinations, biases, etc. Then I have this really cool cosmic art, black and white visual style that I stole from a guy on Twitter. And then the only thing I have to do is create and generate cards. That's my only job. And when I click on it, the first thing it does is find 7, I think I asked for 7, I don't remember, is find 7 categories. And once it has the categories, and this is where it gets complicated, when it has all the categories, I'm launching what is called a Zapier automation. So Zapier, sorry, you've picked one of the most complicated case. So Zapier is an automation software where you can have the workflow of chaining different tools that send information between all these tools and in the end do some fancy stuff. So here, one of the things that I'm doing is that for each, it's gonna pick a category. So for example, famous artist, then generate one artist, Frida Kahlo, then generate the description for Frida Kahlo. So each time you see I'm calling ChatGPT, and then it's going to generate the image that corresponds to the description of the person using, remember, using the style that I have in my Airtable, and it's going to generate the cards. So if you want to have a look, yeah, maybe, no, what I want to show you is this one. So this is the results. And also I'm using another tool that is called Banner Beer that enables me. So you see, this is the image, and then I am able, thanks to Banner Beer, to put the different text on top of the image. And then I just have to export and I have my cards. Voila, voila. So that's the first use case. You know what? Oh, let's go crazy. Let's do another one. And now I'm going to be late.
Alex, this time maybe being more accessible because my brain was like struggling. Can the next use case be a bit more simple?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a good idea. So, and this one comes from one of the member. And so Vanessa explained that so when he is in doubt of what to do first, he records a phone call with himself, just voice recording. And he starts rambling about the outcome, the tactics, the client background for 10, 25 minutes. Then first run of AI to speech to text. You have a transcript. And then you use the blind spot detector. And I've created a nice little prompt that you can use. So each time you wonder about something, you write down everything you think about the topic, and then you use the AI to review your thinking. Now let's work on the blind spots. Analyze and identify potential blind spots, cognitive biases, logical fallacies, unsupported assumptions. Then generate a series of thought-provoking questions to help further explore and challenge the reasoning, offering alternative perspectives or additional factors to consider. And the AI is not going to tell you what to do, you see? It's going to generate questions. That's one of the best ways to use AI, is to review your stuff and not improve it, but make you raise the bar. So again, I don't have the time to there are thousands of ways to use AI as a facilitator in designing, documenting, facilitating, etc. And I don't have the time to look at to show you all of them. And at the end, it's going to be a little bit boring, me only showing and me only speaking. So
Alex, maybe what I can add is that yesterday we had my session, and a lot of you guys mentioned really great resources. I said, guys, I need to go back to the chat to find the resources. And then in 2 minutes, Alex made a prompt, categorized the resources, the feedback, And you see, it's like, even I know that ChatGPT can do those things. Like it didn't even think about it. Like, so it's just a simple use case that you can also do, like to improve the documentation of your workshop, for example.
Yeah,
And the word cloud with the impressions, I really liked that. It was faster than I could ask for it.
oh yeah. So yeah, one of the key things you have to master two things. You have to master when to use the AI, and you have to master how to implement. But because if you know how to do prompt engineering, but you don't think, oh, here I can use AI, well, you miss the opportunity. So that's one of the things. And it's very difficult because everything is evolving in the AI world. And that's why I think you need to share with others. You need to, you cannot, even myself, I'm 100% on AI, and I cannot keep up with everything. So you have to do that collectively. All right, let's move on, because now I'm late. 3 minutes late. Another experience, this time a little bit more traditional, a little bit of micro-learning. As I told you, I have a 3-hour masterclass on that, and we're going to do that in 10 minutes. So ideation, you don't know me, but creative problem solving, divergence, convergence, all of that is really my expertise and the thing that I really like. So that's one of the first things I looked with AI is how to use AI for ideation. And the thing is, when we say AI generate ideas during a brainstorming, we are entering a danger zone. Ta-ta-ta. We definitely don't want the AI to replace participants in generating ideas. We don't want that. But if you do use the AI to generate ideas, then there's at least a couple of things that you can do. And the first thing is what I called self-disclosure, okay? It's all about being very transparent about when and how an AI is being used. So when you're doing a brainstorming with Storms or with Miro, the participants, it's very important. That's my big advice. You need to make sure that all the participants know when an idea has been generated by an AI. So in Storms, it's quite easy. There is a little bot emoji on every AI generated card. So this one was generated by a bot, this one was generated by a human, bot, human, etc. In Miro, you can do that in two ways. You can either add a bot emoji, so you select all the cards with your mouse, and then in 2 clicks, the little feature like that to add an emoji, and you select the bot or another one. I don't care. The other thing that you can do was to have a specific color for AI ideas. So first, best practice, that's the self-disclosure principle. Second thing, if you're using AI to generate ideas, it's the sandwich principle. And my sandwich principle is probably my preferred principle. Basically, it's always start with human and always end with human. That's this one. Okay. So here you see that I started my brainstorming by asking the participant to contribute their own ideas, right? It's only human ideas. Then maybe at some point they have no more ideas. This is where I bring in the AI with a second layer of AI-generated ideas, all right? But then I don't finish on that. I ask them to finalize the sandwich, and the sandwich always ends with human input. So you ask the participant to build on both their own ideas, the previous ones, and then also the AI-generated ideas to find new ideas. And that's really important. One pitfall to watch out for is that it's super easy to generate tons of ideas in seconds. I did that the first time I did a workshop with an AI to generate ideas. I saw the faces of the participants. I will remember that all my life. I mean, it's really overwhelming, and it's going to even scare some of your participants. So that's one of the reasons that in Storms, it's only generate 3 ideas at a time. And in Miro, the way I do it because I use both software, by the way. In Miro, you can manage this by reserving a section of your board. So you have a section of your board separate from the section from the main brainstorming for all the AI ideas. And then you drag them one by one into the main collaborative space as needed for the participants to expand on them. All right. So we've seen the right way that's the right way to use AI-generated ideas. But in fact, there are even better ways. It's my opinion, huh? But there are better ways than using the AI to generate the idea. And one of the way is that, and by the way, it's not one of the way, it's a principle that you can decline in several ways. Instead of having AI generate ideas for the participants, we're going to explore now how can AI trigger fresh ideas in the participant's mind. And I'm going to show you 3 ways. And the first one is to build upon AI's ideas. So that's the simple one. So in Storms, for example, and again, I'm going to show you both Storms and Miro to show you that it's not a question of feature. It's a question of taking the principle and finding a way to implement that in the software that you're using. If it's Mural, Miro, whatever you're using, the principle is the same. So here, you see that I have AI ideas as cards, but in Storms, there's a feature. I click on the card, and it creates a new empty space with the same title. So kitchen waste. And now, the empty space is the sandbox for the human, for the participants to add related ideas. Okay, so you are springboarding on the idea of the AI, and then it's really the idea of the participants. In Miro, it's very simple to do the same thing. You have your zone with the AI ideas, and you move or you duplicate an AI-generated post-it, and you use it as a label for a new brainstorming zone where participants contribute their ideas. All right? So another way, again, to trigger ideas, fresh ideas in the participant mind. And probably one of my favorite, what if instead of having the AI generate the ideas, what if the AI generated questions? By the way, a little bit like what we did in the blind spot detector. So question storming, that's a technique, by the way, that you can use without an AI. Question storming is a traditional CPS technique, creative problem-solving technique. In Miro, let's start with Miro this time. So you have many ways of doing that in Miro. One of the fun way I like is the mind mapping tool. So you see that I have the main how might we question from the workshop as a center topic of the mind map. And then I can expand the mind map with questions. So each question is going to approach the problem from a different angle. You see, it's the same question, but slightly different angle, different perspective, different details. All right. Storms, you can also do it, of course. So there is a dedicated question storming feature. So you can generate, let me show you. So the mind challenge, how might we reduce carbon footprint is here. And then you see that I click on generate how might we question, and it creates a new zone. And this zone is a variation of the main challenge. How might we make eco-friendly habit fun? And you can create as many zones as you want. And then you can ask the participants to answer the questions. So again, it's going to create it's going to trigger new thoughts in the participant's mind. And you're going to get ideas that you wouldn't have had without that. All right. And finally, a last way to trigger fresh ideas. And if you're into creative problem solving or brainstorming and you know all this creativity technique, you're starting to see the trick. All the creativity techniques, that's important. all the creativity techniques, some of them invented in the 60s, that were invented to force humans to think creatively, they worked quite well with a little adaptation with an AI. So if you know Scamper, if you know role-playing, if you know force connections, force connection, by the way, that's my example. Force connection with images. Not all of you might know that. So in one sentence, a force connection is you show the participants a visual trigger, such as an image like that. And then, so you have a visual trigger, and then you have a challenge. How might we recruit new talents? And you force your mind to create a connection between the image and your challenge. And that way, by finding these connections, you're gonna list the different connections, and these connections are going to trigger fresh ideas in your mind. So how can you do that with an AI? Very simply. And by the way, here it's an idea by Eve, who is doing workshops in museums. And I reproduce his example with a prompt, very simple prompt. Again, here the complexity is not in the prompt, even if, yeah, you need to make sure it's well crafted, but the complexity is more of thinking of using the AI that way. And the other complexity is how you facilitate the session after that, how you use the AI, how you use the participants, how you combine that into something that makes sense. We're going to see that in the next experience. So here, you see that I give it a random photo of a painting, then I explain the challenge, how to attract new talent, and then I give a few instructions, and especially on how to extract connection. And then the AI goes wild, and it's going to hallucinate. By the way, one of the only time you want the AI to hallucinate. It's going to hallucinate, it's going to invent, it's going to imagine a lot of weird connections between the painting and the challenge at hand. For example, that the wild horse, taming the wild horse is like overcoming resistance and change management in the company. So then, let me show you if you want to read. You can facilitate in different ways. You can read this connection out loud to the participants so that they can brainstorm ideas based on that. You can print each one of the connection and give one different connection to different groups of participants so that they can come up with different branches of ideas. Really, the idea is that you leverage these unexpected connections to give participants fresh perspectives and help generate creative ideas. All right, so to sum up, when AI starts generating ideas, you're stepping into the danger zone. So you need to think about principles such as self-disclosure, the sandwich principle, springboarding on the AI ideas to create your own ideas. And again, there is a better move, is to use these AI-powered variations of the classic creativity techniques because they are not just prompts, they are triggers to spark new ideas in people's mind. Voilà. So that was the second experience, the micro-learning. And now, welcome to chapter 3, the mini workshop. You see that everything is mini today. And we're going to fail. We're going to fail, but together. Everything is better when we do it together. So we're going to look at, at the end of the workshop, you often have the live debrief by the participants. So maybe they've done some breakouts and they come up and each one of them presents their concepts, their ideas, their slides, etc. And sometimes, especially when you have a lot of groups, it can be super painful. So I don't know, let's see if the AI can help. So I'm going to show you examples And then we're gonna think together on how to make it fail. But first, I'm going to show you the example. So first example, something that works really well, by the way. So let's say that you have plenty of deliverables in a digital format. You collect concepts, pros and cons, and each one of the team has developed some concept for the new vision, for the new company, whatever. And you put back in a tool that is called NotebookLM. So I like NotebookLM. It's by Google because it's very good. You can put different sources in it, different PDF, scripts, videos, etc. And it's able to combine all these sources and to analyze them. It's really good at that. And it's free, by the way. So here I put all the output from the workshop. It's a fake screenshot, by the way. Huh? So I put all the transcript from the workshop inside NotebookLM. And then you can facilitate a session. So it's a great session. So you put NotebookLM on the big screen, and you ask each group of participants to ask questions to the AI about the deliverables. So for example, one of the participants is going to say, okay, AI, tell us if there is anything in common between the different concepts. And the AI is going to look at the different concepts and give some answers. All right. I'm not going to tell you more because I want to keep some surprise and teasing for the little brainstorming. But let's see another use case now, still with NotebookLM. But this time, I'm going to use a fancy feature. It's going to generate a podcast. So out of all the concepts and the solutions, it's going to simulate a podcast between two hosts, and it's very well done. Two people are going to talk. Okay, so the teams have worked on solutions on how to attract new talents. Oh, yes, tell me more about that. Blah, 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 blah. So the idea that you would generate the podcast during a break with the participants or the evening for the next day, depending on your thing, and then you make them listen to the podcast. And again, I'm not going to tell you more. What I would like you to do now, and by the way, there are many other ways to use AI. You can use AI to do some basic analysis of all the ideas. You can use the AI to make a poster out of all the ideas, like a movie poster for Mission Impossible. I've done that, by the way. It's not an idea like that. I've put all the contribution for the participants and generated a poster that represented the main concept developed, plus a synopsis from the movie, etc. So you can think of plenty of ways, fancy ways to use the AI. But there are plenty of ways that it can fail. So we're going to do a reverse brainstorming. And let me show you. I would like to. So if you are in your quiz, you need to exit the quiz. And I'm going to activate the reverse brainstorming. So it's very simple. How to make sure, so you are the devil, okay? You need to make sure that your workshop debrief that is going to be powered by an AI one way or the other, your job is to make it fail miserably, okay? You have to be very, very evil. So take into account all the limits of an AI, hallucinations, biases, and all the things we should avoid. AI thinking of place of participants, trusting the AI and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you again if you don't have the activity. You can scan the QR code again, join the activity with a guest account, click on the right activity, please, and let's do a reverse brainstorming. And I see a first idea, be vague, but the be vague is a little bit vague about that. Try to put a full sentence. Okay, guys, all of you, let's make it fail. Take the first answer, don't think. Be sarcastic. Don't give all the information. Let the AI create all the ideas for what's recommended. People let AI hallucinate like crazy. I'm gonna sort it in the other side so that I...
Alex, just to tell, we
Yeah?
see the screen where with the QR code. Huh? Is it normal?
No, it's not. Thank you. Drink heavily before prompting. Yeah.
Saïd.
The AI has been embedded, fed everything Trump has said since the first term in office before your prompt. Oh, by the way, makes me think. If you ask ChatGPT, who is the president of the US? Joe Biden. Joe Biden. And I'm going to explain you that after, if you don't know why. Change it to Chinese, describe as type of cheese. Don't partner with participants, write too much information. Next step, no comprehension of people needs. Write it backwards, bland and too general. Don't fact check, negate all the ideas generated, fill in assumptions. Yeah, all of that is valid. Put everything in one long prompt. What would a good facilitator not do? Highlight human hallucinations. Ignore answers from specific users. Make AI be human, anthropomorphism. All right. Okay, so of course, I'm going to collect all of that and I'm going to make a nice summary and I'm going to send it to you and make it available. But right now, what I would like to is to give you my own take on that, okay? I've used some of these activities, not all of them, but as I told you, I've done the poster, I've done the Q&A on Notebook LM. I haven't done the podcast, but it's on my to-test list. But I already know how I'm going to facilitate it. Because these AI tools are just tools, okay? What they can bring fresh energy, they can bring creative angles if you use them intentionally, okay? So you can use the AI to reflect your session back in a new way. The Q&A, the podcast, the movie poster. But really the key is that it's here to open up the discussion, not to replace it. It needs to add energy, not to create confusion. So you have to be very, very precise in your facilitation. So first of all, when I do that, I tell them what I'm going to do. Okay, everybody, I'm going to generate a new type of AI analysis, but with an AI. So be aware that what I'm going to present you right now is AI generated. Remember, that's self-disclosure. So I say that. And then I explain them because not all of them know what is an AI. So I tell them, AI is just a probability tool. It's very biased. It's biased because it has been trained on biased data. And it hallucinates. It might invent things and get things wrong. And then I say, but it's okay because it's not the final word. It's just the start of a conversation that we're going to have together as a group. So if you combine the positive aspect of bringing a new angle, plus the fact that it's just the start of a discussion, and this is where you come as a facilitator, as a facilitator of a conversation based on an output. And this is where you come in. So you're going to ask yourself and your group, okay, so now we have heard this podcast or this answer to the question. What do we agree with? Are we missing anything? Is there anything that feels totally off? And the cool thing is that because it is an AI who has given the output and not one of your colleagues, the conversation will be easier because you will not be pointing at a colleague. You will say, okay, no, the AI, I think, is off on that point because it's missing a lot of context. So that's where the real value is, using AI to spark reflection, okay? Using AI to trigger ideas, not to deliver the conclusion, not to replace the participants. Okay, so is it the final word? Well, no, not the final word, because remember the animals. You remember? So, first experience. I don't know what you put in your thinking, but what I did, the way I did it, I created a memorable experience. Okay. And if you just use the AI, it's going to be fun, but it's going to fade very, very easily. And of course, you have to facilitate a kind of check-in activity after that. So first of all, just doing the AI stuff is not enough. You may then have people to present their card and stuff like that. But I went way above that in the first time I did it. It was a 3-day. It was not me facilitating, by the way, but it's a pity Nathy was not there, is not here because she has experienced it. On the evening, I exported everything, and I had prepared before a template. So I put everything in a publishing template. And what I did is that I went to my printer and I created real cards out of the activity. And the next day, I give the cards, the participants got their cards. And this is the final results. And I can tell you that more than 1 year later, people are still talking about their card. The card is still on their desk. Okay. So I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying that VI is just part of the process. It's just a tool to achieve something. So here it creates an element of surprise, of magic, and it's your job so that it sparks the right conversation, the right energy in the room, and the right dynamic. So this is the end of the journey. So we had these little micro experiences. I hope you enjoyed them. So is it the end? Well, it's up to you, of course. You are more than welcome to start tinkering with an AI and sharing and exchanging. And I think that if you try to do it alone, it will be very difficult because everything is evolving so fast. So we need, as a community, this webinar is a way to share with the community some of my thoughts and opinions. So we should do that more. Anyway, so one thing is sure is that it's not the end of the webinar because we have some prizes. And then we will be able to ask to have some questions. Said, can you help me on that? So
I was on mute, of course. So let me, if you can I highlight myself already, or are you still sharing?
No, I'm gonna explain the first prize. So the first prize is a new kind of format that I created that is called the Tinker class. And I think that's one of the best way to learn about AI because it's a combination of a 3-hour masterclass on a topic. And then you have 10 days asynchronous of what I call guiding tinkering, because people will be able to share their results, what they are doing on the platform. And then a live session to share and exchange on the experience. So that's what I call a Tinker class. And I'm building my first 2 Tinker class. The first one is for advanced people who already know how to prompt an AI. and it's about AI agents, which is kind of a very trendy stuff. But for once, it's a trend that there is a real value behind the trend. I hate trends, but this one is the
Is it me
Can
or
you
is
not
Alex
hear-
on mute?
Alex, you're on mute.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but and I also have my shirt on still. So there.
Hi.
But I
You
checked my
don't want to know
headphones
what is
first.
the tattoo of
Who
Said
did
below
that?
this t-shirt?
No.
Who did that?
No one. Or maybe I did by accident. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Go, move on.
So yeah, I was explaining that I don't know when I was cut off, but you have two choices as price: the AI agent if you're more advanced, and the custom GPT if you're more where you learn prompting techniques and stuff like that. So the winner is going to be able to win one of these. So that's the first prize, and then there will be a second one. So shall we?
Switch places? Let's do that. And while I'm setting myself up, there was a question also. What if you are one of the 127 who don't win? Where can you enroll to the class?
So the date is not set, so there is no enrolling yet. But guess what will be my answer? All the
Join the
information.
club.
Yeah, join the club. It's free, and all the information will be there.
Awesome. Okay. I don't want to ask, but I am in full screen right now, right? I highlighted myself. Hopefully you can see me. Thumbs up, a lot of thumbs up. Okay, awesome. And if this is not your first rodeo with us, Alex explained the prizes, and we will draw the first lucky winner or winneress. And the rules are clear. First of all, you have to be still in the room. So if you made it through the last 70 minutes, that's step one. Step two is you need to have at least 2 comments in the chat today. To make sure you have to, please give Alex a little bit of feedback, a little bit of jazz hands in the chat so that you will appear on my winning wheel. We have 89 people already, so let's make it at least 100. Thanks. Please share some love with Alex. It's the easiest way to get another comment in the chat. Smileys also work if you're super lazy. That's fine. And there we go. All the names disappeared from the wheel, which means we have more than 100 people. And I will draw the first one. And if you are here, please just reply in the chat or unmute yourself quickly. Otherwise, I will just draw again and see how far we'll get. Okay, ready to go? Alex, if you like, you can share the Fit for Facilitation anthem, or is it too early or too late? Do we need music?
I can do that. Let's do that.
Oh no, I will wait for for the beat to drop.
In a room so bright under the spotlight, facilitators meet, sharing insights. They come from far and wide with the
Oh, you cannot see it with black on dark blue background. It's Tudor. Tudor, are you here in the room? Can you hear me? I think you can cut the music, Alex, if you like.
Start singing, Tudor. Start singing.
There is a strong noise in my ear.
Yeah, that's probably Tudor himself.
Tudor is
I
so
just muted
happy.
you. I just muted you. Your audio is off a little bit, but you are here, and you give me a thumbs up if you want one of the class tickets, and you will of course get them. Do you accept your prize?
Tell us what's your take?
Something is very off with your sound. So
I
sorry.
take that as a yes.
Yeah, I take it also as a yes.
He gave a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
you will contact me and tell me if you prefer the AI agent one or the my first custom GPT. Both of them will be in a couple in between May and June.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Bravo.
staying. It was worth it. And
And
we have one more.
Yeah,
We have one more
it's not
prize.
finished.
Yeah, we have one. We all used Storms today. I saw in the chat, I asked previously, a lot of people, it was the first time using Storms. So we decided, let's give away one Storms ticket for someone, up to 50 participants, as you can see on Alex's screen. And this time we do it without the music. I think there was a little bit of an issue. However, I will spin the wheel and then we will see who will get 3 months of a free pro plan in.
Let me stuck a music in the mind of everyone.
Alex, please, thanks. I think I broke the wheel. It doesn't work anymore.
You broke the wheel.
Oh my! I think it's.
Try again.
Yeah, you cannot see my cursor, but I'm doing the whole thing.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, guys.
Work.
I think that every problem has a solution. So, you know what? Let's give the 3 months of Storm to everyone in this room.
What?
Yeah, let's give it.
Even
3
me?
months for everyone.
you can find the link and the coupon code in the chat. Please click on the link. Use FFF forever for 3 months. This was irony. We joked about it before. It's forever, but for 3 months. So worth 50 euros for each of you. Have fun. Thanks a lot, Alex. Very, very generous. We have more than 100 people in the room. That's awesome. Thanks a lot. So
just maybe if it breaks again, we won't do that.
This was planned. If you didn't get it, it was a joke. It was planned. We will not give everyone everything next time.
We are so good actors, it didn't show that it was planned before.
But thanks, Mehdi. So next time I have to be very careful that you don't give away everything.
Just one serious thing. If a lot of you really want to try Storms with their plan, etc., I'm totally open to organize a free training to people who are also in this room. I didn't plan that, but I think it's a good idea. So how can we organize that? Someone has an idea very quick, they can contact me somewhere if they are interested in the training.
You can do an FFF event and it's going to be sparked Storm training.
Oh, you know what? We're going to send that on an email blast. Okay. Email blast.
We will find a way.
If you're interested in the Storms training, so that you can make the most of your 50 multiplied by €3.
Awesome. And also, if you want to, if you like the cards Alex showed, and if you want to support for just €1, I don't know what you get nowadays for €1. You can get the digital version. I shared the link. Please, get them, share them. It's an awesome offer. It's basically free minus taxes. So. There we go. Okay, these were the prices. Thanks a lot. This is not over. We still have a little bit of time if you want to hang around with us. Just saying again, it's weekend, and after the weekend we will be back with Alex again. He will have the first session on Monday, and then you will see Mehdi's face, my face, and Nathy again. And please make sure. Mehdi, if you can look up the closing session, please make sure to join us for the closing session on Wednesday, because we will just be celebrating together, connecting together, having fun, and also there will be the very, very big prizes that we will give out. So please make sure to just join us and be part of the community.
It's also the place where we are delivering all the resources that you've been asking us for like a couple of times. Let's join the closing session.
Yeah, we need a little bit of time to process everything. There's 2 sessions a day, a lot of things going on. So, but very, very happy for everyone who joined today. But these were not the final words. I had 2 questions I copied earlier, and then we can maybe have whoever wants to unmute themselves and ask, or raise your hands, please. Then we can answer questions. I have one about Storms, which was how many participants can Storms handle? I will unhighlight myself, Alex. Can you give us a rough idea?
So the biggest plan, you can have up to 200 participants. So that's for remote, but if you do in person, which I do a lot, you never ask all the participants to have Storms on their device, because you don't want have a full room of people with the nose inside their phone. So in fact, you ask them 1 per 3 or 1 per table, 1 per 6. So it means that you can, in person, you can do groups of 600 or stuff like that.
Okay, 600
But,
is awesome.
and you have plans for 10, plans for 50, the one that we just gave, and a plan for 200.
Okay, and the other one is, can you create two-sided cards? I am not 100% sure what it was related to,
No,
but
the
I think
answer is no. That's on my bucket list. I really would like to be able to do that with storms, but no. And I've been bitten by bitten by Miro because I think they're gonna deliver that feature soon.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
So, and
I see a question by Laure.
what's up with Biden? So
Yeah.
tell us.
So it's because of something that is called the cutoff date. And this typically the kind of thing that I teach is that an AI is first trained with a bunch of data. And then once it is trained, it is transformed in a kind of big math formula and it doesn't change anymore. Okay, it's stuck. So it just means that ChatGPT, the model that is currently online, was trained before Trump was elected as a president, and its cutoff date is something around October or June 24. And now that it's in production, it doesn't change. It's a common misconception to think that the AI is constantly augmented with new data. It's not the case. There are some other mechanisms, but to make it simple, it's trained and then it doesn't move. So right now, ChatGPT doesn't know about Trump being elected, but maybe a future version will come very soon and then it will have the updated knowledge. So cutoff date, you need to remember that term. And when you use a large language model, it's one of the things you should look on the characteristic of this LLM in the doc. Don't ask the AI, by the way, but look in the doc and you will have the date.
Awesome. Guys, if you any questions, any remarks, anything you heard today from Alex? Yeah, I can hear a hand. Please just unmute yourself. Tatiana. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Saeed. Hi, Alex. Hey, guys. Thank you very much for everything. In my role as in education, I teach university students public speaking, social media, leadership concepts, and we have these conversations about AI. But then I come into the stuff about today's session and it feels a bit overwhelming, which is because I use AI frequently. That's not the overwhelming part. I think it's more how to have conversations and lead conversations about AI with other people while everything is evolving so fast. And like you said, Alex, hard time keeping up. So for someone like me, where I want to talk about this with my students, what would you say are like the top 5 areas that I should be talking about them? I think one of them is bias, in addition to the bonuses and the great things that come with it. But what would you say are the 5 categories that I should be having with people? And, facilitators can do it in their team discussions and everything too, but top 5 beginner categories.
So let me take my card deck because
that was a layup, right?
One of the things is that you should speak about the dark side and you should speak about the positive side. And I think that a lot of people are biased themselves of only seeing either the negative or either the positive. So on the dark side, you just mentioned it. You need to make them very aware of the risk. And one of the biggest one is to understand, and you need to understand, come here.
Ironically, there's an AI camera that follows you.
Yeah, I'm going to stop that. Okay, so hallucinations, understanding what is an hallucination, it's in the core nature of an AI. It's never going to change. All LLM with the current architecture are going to hallucinate whatever the conceptors are trying to do. Another big risk, anthropomorphism, very dangerous. One of the things is that all the editors are trying to make the AI look human. So it creates trust, and this trust is very bad. because you should never trust an AI. That's what I will have on my sweatshirt, Said. Never trust an AI. The other thing is never say please to an AI, but that's another topic. Biases, of course, very important, but you need to explain why there are these biases. Yes, these biases not because of the technology, but because of the data that we have in our society that speaks more about men, that speaks more about the Western world, etc., etc. So that's the dark side, okay? But then you also have to explain that there are the right way to use AI. The blind spot detector, for example, is a great way. And I have a framework that is called DREAMS: diverge, review, edit, analyze, morph, and search, which are the 6 big categories where AI can be very relevant. So diverge, the AI, we've seen that today. The review is how the AI can assess whatever you do, give you pros and cons, ask you powerful questions to up your thinking. That's one of my favorite parts. Edit is the one that everybody knows. Analyzing documents, detecting trends, detecting patterns. Maybe even if it's bias, it's a different bias than the one that you, the human, have. So it's interesting. So yeah, I like to show both of these things at the same time. And this is, by the way, what I'm doing with the AI Thinkers cards. I'm going to speak about in the next session, is that I'm building activities that first you understand what's behind the hood. The AI is just a next word probability machine, nothing else. Yes, dreams like that. Need to
Thank
show
you,
you the
Alex.
card.
Yeah, I think this is very helpful to frame it and just teach and educate people and then have them decide how to use it.
Search, morph, analyze, edit, diverge, and review. Dreams.
Love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So much to learn.
And Tatiana, what Alex is also basically saying is, get the cards.
Get the cards.
Yeah, it's €1.
It's a no-brainer.
No, but
if you want to start
the cards is my toy product currently. I'm having a lot of fun, not only doing it, but also facilitating the workshop with them and building a community around them.
Thank you.
And of course, join Alex Tinkerer Club for free, where you can learn a lot. I'm doing the promo here, so okay, we still have a little bit of time if you want to hang around with us. Any further
it's
questions?
Casual time, meaning that if you need to leave, no hard feelings, obviously. Yeah. You can leave.
There are no more prizes, so don't worry if it's
but if you want to stay, I'm totally open to staying a little bit. So for example, I see a question. I do wonder who's paying for AI. If it's free, then you're the product. So that's another of the risk card that is very important. That's the privacy one, right? Privacy. If you're using a free ChatGPT, I never know because it changes always, but by default, they can use your own data to train the next generation of the model, okay? But you can uncheck that setting, even if you have a free version so that they don't train on your data. In that case, well, you're not really the product because they don't have a lot of ways to analyze. But the model right now for ChatGPT is to try to hook you to a paying plan. So it's more a freemium model where they expect you at some point to upgrade to a paying model. But it's
Alex,
a good question. Yeah.
Alex, do you think at some point they're going to reduce the kind of processing power you get under the free plans? Because these GPUs must be costing a fortune, all the electricity. So are they think at some point they'll throttle it and then you have to like pay a
right now they are on the conquest of market share. So they are doing like all the startups that have raised funds. They are killing everyone else by having a lower price and burning money like hell. And at some point, the shareholders are going to say, okay, now we need to see a little bit of money. So they're going to do exactly what you say. They're going to reduce the scope of the free plan, and they're going to push you to upgrade to get the new features, which they are already doing, by the way. So yeah, that's the typical process. But they have raised billions. I don't know if they succeeded in their last raise. That was billions of dollars. So they can burn a lot of money. Yeah. But at some point, yeah, but at the same time, we say that, but at the same time, now we have some very powerful open source model. So that's one of the use case that I didn't present, but now I wouldn't have said that 18 months ago, but now we have some open source models that are very effective. We have some micro models that are very effective for some of the tasks, and you can use them for free or locally on your machine. So, so there is a risk for people like OpenAI. How do they differentiate? Because right now there's a kind of the raw power of a large language model is doing like that. The only way that they are keeping a curve that seems like that is because they are adding new stuff on top of the raw engine that is the large language model. They are adding reasoning capabilities. They are adding AI agents, which is great, but it's the raw power is doing like that. So meaning that the open source are going to get the same kind of level of performance.
Thanks,
Very
Alex.
interesting.
I just have another question in the chat from Sudeep. I don't know if you're still here, but I will just read it out. In your opinion, what's the one big positive trend that you see with AI being used in the domain of learning and development, especially corporate and B2B context? What's one big trend in L&D?
I don't see a big positive trends in L&D for the moment. Everything is very scattered. The trend is that AI is in L&D, but it doesn't mean that it's done the right way. So I think everything is very scattered. The best practice have not yet emerged on how to use them, because again, everything is evolving and changing every month. So I think that we see both sides, the dark side and the bright side at the same time. Sorry, it's maybe not the answer you were expecting. I see another question I can answer about the 30 days. Yes, ChatGPT, and by the way, even if you're not using ChatGPT, but the API that OpenAI is providing to all the software developers in the world, they keep your data for 30 days. They don't look at it. They don't use for training purposes, but they keep it for legal reasons. If the FBI asks for them, for example, they will have to provide the data. So it's for legal reasons only, but they are not using it, and then it's thrown away. If you can trust what they say.
I added the question for self-promotion because it was asked earlier. What tool do you use to create the animations and switching between slides and stuff? So now's your chance to just promote my next session.
So I'm going to promote side session because everything you've seen today, like that, like hey, and being able to say, blah, 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 and then come back to the slides is thanks to you, Said, because I wanted to do that. I've been wanting to master OBS for a long time, but have very little time to, and your session was an accelerator and a very good training. And also the support.
Then sign up for Tuesday and you can see some more magic.
OBS.
OBS, exactly. Open
OBS looks
software.
like that. It's like that. So it's a software. Hello. It's a software where you can mix all different sources and put them on different parts of the screen and do some nice animations and stuff like that. The simple things are simple, and the complex things can go complex very fast, right, Said?
Yes, but yeah, you can start with simple things. And
exactly.
Again, if you'd like to see something behind the scenes, join me on Tuesday, or Google it yourself, or watch a YouTube video, however you like, whatever makes you happy. Awesome. I would say last question for today. We are 90 minutes in. Anyone who has some final words to Alex, or in general, this is your chance. Or
if you allow me to.
That's why I asked, sure.
If you allow me to, that's not a question. Hey, Jido here from Benin Republic, West Africa. That's not a question per se. It's I just saw the facilitator song like Alex created, right?
Well, I didn't create it. I feed it to an AI. I have absolutely no.
So it was generated. Okay, well, I mean, let us listen to that as we, wrap this wonderful and amazing session up, if you don't mind.
Sorry,
play the song. That was the question.
Would you play the song? Would you mind playing the song? Yes, for us to.
Oh yeah, sure.
Enjoy.
And also, you know what? I'm going to share the link in the chat so that you can listen to it the full weekend.
Together they share knowledge and care.
Attends.
Amazing. Thank you.
In a room so bright under the spotlight, facilitators meet, sharing insights. They come from far and wide with a goal tight to learn and grow, making groups whole. Fit for facilitation, a summit they gather, improving skills, making them better. Together they share knowledge and care, building bonds, leading with flair. Fit for facilitation, a journey they start, guiding teams with a warm heart. Strategies and tools in the daylight, transforming lives, one talk at a time.
Voilà.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks everybody for joining. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you next week. I hope you had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. Jazz hands for Alex. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.
Awesome session.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
See you around. Thanks a lot.